Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm here this morning with Brian Liu, who's a co-portfolio manager for our Income Opportunities Fund. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Mike.
It's been kind of an exciting week, well, at least the last couple of days. You've had the Fed standing pat, and this morning we find out that there's a new sheriff in town, and his name's Kevin Warsh. So, why don't you kind of share your thoughts on both those topics, if you would?
Sure. I think Powell's meeting almost had an air of, I'm going to say as little as possible, and you're just not going to get much out of me. Certainly, I think his remarks were among the shortest, kind of initial remarks were among the shortest that we've seen from him. And then in the news conference, obviously, everyone's going to be asking him about the administration and everything going on there, and he just was very set in saying, I got nothing for you there, and I'm not going to take the bait here. I'm not going to do anything. And then when they asked him about why he attended Cook's hearing and stuff, he just thought like I think that's somewhat of a huge deal in terms of Fed independence, and it'd be stranger if he didn't attend. And
Hmm.
I think that he, while he maintains a real air of seriousness and practicality and everything, and people are quick to point out that he was appointed by Trump, I think he was starting to get pretty fed up with the idea that he's some sort of foil in this and that he's doing anything other than just trying to do his job. I think the distractions and everything, obviously, when the subpoenas came out and he actually took time to record a video, I actually thought that it was probably doing something a little unnecessary, but I think it definitely signaled that he was no longer really as invested in the job per se because of all these other distractions. So I think him saying all that and then just reiterating that it's data dependent and the stuff that he always says, right? I think it does kind of suggest, and I think it is kind of cemented at this point that they're more of a reactionary Fed. I think they tried to maybe be a little bit sight forward, and I don't want to discredit any of them because obviously they're part of a pretty strong body. But I think even that kind of something that Besson has talked about, that the Fed really got in effect too much power. Right. I think Warsh, a departure will just be the fact that they're breaking into someone new will be better, right? For just less maybe market uncertainty or battling between kind of politics and where policy should be, right? Warsh was kind of he was part of Bush and Obama, and so he kind of has that bipartisan feel, so to speak. He was an inflation hawk at one point, and so he's definitely viewed as more of a moderate and not a bootlicker.
What do you think, assuming he's confirmed, what do you think that, maybe his first couple of moves, when he takes office would be?
Well, I think he's going to try and rally his group or rally the group a little bit more to maybe open their eyes a little more to some of the forward data like trueflation, or forward meaning more current as opposed to being reactionary. And that's not to say that Powell's sitting there with his eyes blinders on or something like that. I think he probably just took a little bit more of a traditional approach, which I still think was better than his predecessor, who seemed more or at least when I guess when I'm talking about when Yellen was at the Fed, it seemed like she was a little bit more kind of biased and not really looking at the Fed's role per se. I think Powell tried to take it and make it just truly independent, and we're doing what we should be doing just for our two-pronged mandate. I think Warsh is probably going to be or hopefully going to be a little bit more proactive, so to speak.